I competed at a submission-only competition here in Sweden. This is what happened. Match number 1. I came out of the gate immediately looking for a collar tie to wrestle, but my opponent pulled guard into a cheeky armbar attempt. I scramble back on top and immediately apply pressure into my pass. I'm very comfortable in these sorts of positions because my passing style is pressure. I was very aware that my opponent was going for a shoulder crunch on my left shoulder, so I was keeping my head in the way so he couldn't go for a choi bar entry or any form of sweeping attempt. In my right arm, I was trying to maintain pressure on his left leg to stop his leg from coming over the top. We stay in this position for quite a while. We're sort of feeling each other out. I'm trying to pass with pressure. He's maintaining his guard very effectively until I finally am able to beat his knee, but with excellent frames and good guard retention, my opponent gets his knee line back in and retains his guard, and my pass attempt fails once again. As this was submission only, I wasn't really interested in trying to grind out the pass because there's no points. So I decided to try a different take with a Toriondo style pass. My opponent inverts and I just let him roll, and then I stalk him back to the center of the mats. Use the reset as an opportunity to try and blast in and go under his guard with a double under style attempt. The reason this is ineffective in no-gi is because you don't have any grips. You cannot consolidate once you do pass your opponent's knees. It's a lot easier to do this in gi. At this point, I was getting a little bit frustrated with my opponent's guard retention. It was quite good, and I wasn't really getting anywhere, so I tried something different. I channeled my inner Nicky Rod and do the world's worst cartwheel attempt. I'd never do this in training. I don't know why I tried it. Just trying to end up on that highlight reel. My camera loses a bit of focus because it grabbed a hold of my teammate that's in the frame, but we pretty much end up in the same position. I'm trying to pass, and at this point, I got the 2.5 minutes remaining warning, and I knew I had to try something completely different because I didn't want to end up in overtime. I made my opponent think I was going for a knee cut. I used this as an opportunity to get inside position, and I sat back into single leg X and attempted a footlock. Knee reaping was allowed, but heel hooks were not. So all I had was a straight footlock attempt. I have a very consolidated grip on his ankle, so I switched to X guard so I can elevate his foot off the mat and get the finish. At the start of match 2, I was feeling a little bit fatigued, and I didn't really feel like wrestling. So my game plan was to fill out my opponent on the feet and then eventually just pull guard. And this is what happened. I used the collar tie to sit all the way underneath my opponent, go straight into single leg X, grab the ankle grip, transition to X guard again, off balance my opponent and finish the footlock. Match number 3, I had a similar game plan. I come out, try to get the collar tie, and accidentally slap my opponent straight in the face. Really sorry about that. He didn't like it. Fair enough. It was a bitch slap. I wanted to wrestle a little bit, but I really wasn't feeling it on the feet this particular day. So eventually, once I found the opening, I tried the exact same technique, used the collar tie to sit into that single leg X position, grab the foot lock, and go for the finish. However, this time, my opponent did an excellent job defending, and then you can see here his heel slips as I'm trying to finish. I tried to regain the grip and go for it again, but I decided eventually to bail on it, and that's when I end up in the deepest triangle of the day. My opponent had a really locked in triangle, so I cut the corner as hard as I can using my knee on his hip to assist, and I end up in side control. Focus here is to lock down his hips. That's why I'm trying to get my knee as close to my elbow as possible. Because of the pressure from his triangle, my contact lens actually falls out onto the mat, so I flick it away so I can try and pick it up later. My opponent then commits heavily to a massive bridge, and I use that as an opportunity to go straight to mount. Because my opponent's arm position across his head here, I had a perfect head-arm triangle, so all I do is sprawl down, give it a squeeze, and I get the finish. And now I can officially say I've competed internationally. It was a really awesome comp. It was a small local comp that was run really well. Thank you so much to my opponents and the referees and everyone that took part in the day. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe. And here I am collecting my contact lens from the referee. I did not put it back in. I ended up throwing it out.